There are two types of generator owners: those that use their machines once or twice a month, and then the rest of us. If you fall into that latter category, then this video is for you, because you need to consider long-term storage for your machine so that when that power goes out, your machine's ready to kick in and help you out. If you're using gasoline, you need to add a gasoline stabilizer to the unit. You'll need to run the engine so that stabilized fuel gets into the fuel line and the carburetor. And then when you need it, 60 days from now, 90 days from now, your carburetor won't be gummed up. Generally, fuel stabilizers are good for about a year. You'll also want to consider adding some oil to the cylinder so it's lubed and ready to run. For our propane folks like me, because this is a dual fuel system, I don't have to stabilize any fuel because it's just bone dry, but I do need to lubricate the cylinder and possibly change the motor oil. And that's what this video is going to take you through. Some of the items that you will need: a bottle of 10W30 motor oil, a Phillips number 3, a teaspoon, a spark plug changing wrench that should have been included with your kit, and possibly a funnel. Regardless of whether you use gasoline or propane, we always store the machine with the switch set over to LPG. That ensures that there's no gasoline going into the carburetor. Opposite of the control panel is the service panel. There are 1, 2, 3, 4 number 3 Phillips fasteners that need to be removed. Once the fasteners are removed, the cover comes off. Here is the spark plug cable. We just pull on it. And now we can use the spark plug wrench to get the spark plug out. You turn counterclockwise. This is the way the tool arrives. You insert the bar through it. You align it. And then using the bar for leverage, you turn counterclockwise. It should be fairly easy for it to disengage. And then you can just turn this by hand until the plug comes out. Here's our plug. This is a great time to do a visual inspection. Now, this unit only has less than 1 hour of operation on it, so the plug is exceptionally clean. If yours is burnt out or really dark, then it may be time to replace it, and this would be a great time to do that. For our next step, we grab matching motor oil. We're using 10W30. If you're in a really cold climate, you could use something a little different, and you can always go with synthetic if you want to spend the money on that, but this is totally sufficient and meets the manufacturer's specs. So we're going to pour a teaspoon of oil. And because there's no way that I could get a teaspoon to actually pour into there, I'm going to use the funnel that was provided with the generator. We pour in our motor oil and allow it to run down the funnel. By the way, don't use this in your kitchen now, because somebody might get really upset. And now what we're going to do is we're going to take the pull cord and gently just pull it to the end. And what that does is it allows the piston to go up and down and spread that oil across the cylinder. I do it about 3 times. Now we're ready to take our spark plug, put it back in, and what I do is I go counterclockwise until I feel it drop in. Then I go clockwise, because what you don't want to do is you don't want to cross thread this, which is very easy to do. The metal's quite soft. And then you just hand tighten until you get to the end. If you feel any resistance, that means you're possibly going to cross thread. So back out and try it again. Just go counterclockwise until you feel it drop in. Then you can go clockwise. And it's gotten to a point where it's snug. So I'm going to get my tool insert the tool, and just give it a little bit of a turn there. Not even a quarter turn. Now we grab our spark plug boot and put that over and make sure it goes all the way in. It should be flush. You may hear a snap, but there shouldn't be any motion on this. So you know that's set. At this point, you could change the motor oil if it's old. Again, on my machine it's just an hour old, so I'm not going to change it. But if you did want to change the motor oil, you'd mount the machine up so that you can get a pan underneath it. And then there's a little rubber floor, plastic floor that snaps out right below where this drain plug is. And then you turn this drain plug counterclockwise, take it out, let the fuel dump out, put it back in, put the little plastic piece back here, which allows the oil to drop just straight through into your pan that's underneath. And then you're going to go counterclockwise on this plug. This is where you add your oil. And the one thing to know about this is to check the oil level. Don't screw it all the way in. Just drop it in, pull it back out, and take a reading. If you screw it all the way in, you're going to get a false reading on your oil level. Our final and last step is we're going to come back to the pull cord. We're going to pull on it until we feel some resistance, and that's where the valves have closed, so that'll keep moisture from coming in to the cylinder, and that's where we stop pulling and just leave it alone. Again, we're going to start with the fuel selector and LPG. That is, of course, in off, and the only other concern you have with this unit is that the battery, which can be charged via this port here, and there was a adapter and cable that was included with your generator, will drain. So you'll need to plug that in periodically or leave it just trickle charging. Or if you're really adventuresome, you could take the battery out. The problem with that is that when your lights go out, then it's a big hassle because the compartment in which the battery sits in is very tight fitting. So for me, it's not worth the hassle. I'd rather plug in the adapter once a month or just leave it trickle charging and be set with that. Worst case scenario, if your battery is dead, then you just use the pull cord to start it up. After completing this procedure, your machine is ready for 30 or more days of storage, and you can rest assured that if and when the machine is needed, it should be able to start right up without any difficulties. If you found this video interesting or useful, give us a thumbs up, leave us a comment, join the subscription team, and as always, thank you ever so much for watching.